Hello everyone, my name is John Cottrell and welcome to Power Hour. This is a 60-minute power vinyasa yoga practice. We're going to be working together and our focus today is actually legs and shoulders, and I chose that combination because I also work out at the gym, and there's often combinations of things that we'll do at the gym. For example, you might do back and biceps and then chest and triceps, and the other grouping that you might do together are legs and shoulders. So I thought, hey, why not do a legs and shoulder yoga workout? So that's what we'll be focusing on. So for our props, I'm not going to really be teaching with any specific props, but you're always welcome to have props for your practice. Maybe a couple of blocks or just something that brings the floor a little bit closer to you might be helpful for some of the postures that we're going to be doing today. Otherwise, anything else, straps, blankets, bolsters, anything else that you like to use for your practice will be great. All right, let's go ahead and begin. We're going to start in mountain pose, of course. So we're going to start with our feet about hip distance apart with your toes pointing directly forward. If that doesn't feel too comfortable, you can always step your feet out a little wider, even turn the toes out a little wider, something like this, if that feels best for you. But just be aware if you're shifting to one side and kind of sitting on one side. That's how we typically stand, like if you're having a casual conversation with someone, you might just kind of sit to one side. So we want to be sure we're standing centered. Even distribution of weight and balance across both feet and legs. And your arms can just rest down by your side for a moment. Go ahead and start with a few deep breaths. Maybe breathe in through your nose. You can exhale through your mouth with a nice sigh. You might even just roll your shoulders a little bit, just little circles, roll them backward, roll them forward, just a little movement. You can even shrug your shoulders, just lift the shoulders up towards the ears and then just press them down. Since we'll be focusing on our shoulders, just giving them a little preview of some motion here. And then you're welcome just to return to stillness. You can go ahead and close your eyes if you'd like, or just soften your eyes so you're just gazing forward or downward, and just continue with the breath. Just slow, steady breaths in and out. As you breathe in, you might even feel the lifting and lengthening of your spine. You might stand up a little taller. And as your breath rises, we're filling up the lungs. Nice expansive feeling up top. And as you exhale, we're drawing navel inward towards spine here. It's called the abdominal lock, where we lightly engage the abdominal muscles. You want to feel like your belly button's pulling in towards your spine, so you feel that energy. So again, as you breathe in, breath is rising, just fill up your lungs and heart space. And the exhale, just draw belly in, that light contraction. Again, that awareness of center body. Go ahead and take 3 more breaths like this, and we'll begin our flow. When you're ready, inhale and extend your arms into the air. Treat it like a nice stretch. Reach all the way up. Exhale, we'll fold forward, so a good hinge from your hips. Bend your knees as much as you need to. As you make your way down, maybe touching the ground or your toes, or you can bring in those stack of blocks. We'll inhale, slide hands up to knees or thighs to fully extend spine here. Then exhale, we'll fold again. Just move to a place that's comfortable here. It might be where your hands are at your shins, or you might just carefully fold much more, maybe put a little bit more bend in the knees, and if it feels okay, hang heavily forward here. Loosen up your head and neck, and once again, circle your shoulders. Just loosen them up. We tend to hold a lot of tension in the shoulders and your neck and upper back. So here's a nice opportunity just to let some tension release. So some circles, gentle movement of your head and neck, even a little sway left and right with the upper body, getting into the low back and hips a little bit. Then we're just going to shift the weight back into the heels, bend your knees a little bit. Feel like you're sitting down into a low chair, look forward, and extend your arms out to the side. We're going to stand up nice and tall, reach up into the air. Exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart. Let's just pause for a breath. Let's do that exact same sequence. That's our half salute to the sun. When you're ready, inhale, sweep the arms out and up, reach high, stretch. Exhale, lead with your heart, fold forward, a nice softness in the knees, guide your way down to a personal depth. Inhale, let's rise up halfway. That long tabletop, we'll call this monkey pose. Exhale, we'll fold back down. Maybe a complete release, getting into that ragdoll effect of the body for a second. And then shift your weight back into your heels, bend your knees, look forward, arms out to the side, spreading your wings. We'll inhale, stand up tall once again, reach for the ceiling. Exhale, bring your palms together and back down to your heart. Excellent. Go ahead and take a couple more breaths. Still feeling tall and steady and balanced on 2 feet, even distribution of weight across both feet. Let's continue our flow, our sun salute. Inhale, reach into the air. Exhale, again, leading with heart, fold forward with soft knees, guide your way down. We'll inhale, rise up halfway, our monkey pose. This exhale, we'll bend the knees enough to bring your hands to the mat. We'll step or walk both feet back into plank pose. Let's hold here in this high push-up position for a breath or two. Nice energy in the hands and arms. Really feel like you're trying to push yourself farther away from the ground. Good energy in the upper body. Let's breathe in for a little bit more length in the body. Exhale, bend your knees a little to send your hips up into the air. And that's our guidance into downward facing dog. If you need to, make any adjustments with your feet, maybe your hands on your mat, settle into your pose, and keep that nice strong pressure of the hands into the mat, good energy in the arms. Now, if you like, pedal the feet. So press one heel down as the other heel lifts and then alternate. Just take your time with that. You might even exhale as you feel the heel press down. Inhale in between as you switch. Exhale and press. So you feel that little stretch and lengthening in the calves. Remember doing legs and shoulders. So let's feel this in the calves right here. Good. One more side, or one more time both sides if you're pedaling the feet. And then come to stillness. We'll take a full breath in, then exhale, walk, step, or even hop both feet back up to the top of the mat. We'll inhale to rise up halfway. Exhale, fold. Right away, shifting weight back into the heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Come all the way back up to standing. Reach even higher if you're able. Exhale, hands down to your heart. Very nice. Good. Let's just do something here. Just bring your arms down by your side. Let's turn the palms forward. We're just going to do a very simple movement before we get into the next part of the sun salutation. Basically, we're just going to move into extended mountain pose and then back down to mountain pose. So just move with me. We're going to inhale, just sweep the arms out. Really reach. Feel like you're reaching across the room. And then right up towards the sky, palms facing each other. And exhale, press the air down so your palms spin to point downward and press the air down. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, lift the air as if it was heavy, reaching, lifting up. Great mobility in the shoulders. Exhale, turn the arms so your palms are facing down. Press that air back down towards the earth. 1 more time. Just feel that nice energy in the hands, your arms, and that great mobility we're getting in the shoulders. Good. And then our exhale, we're pressing it all back down. Wonderful. All right, let's continue with our sun salutation. Here we go. Inhale, reach into the air. That same energy of lifting up that heavy air. Exhale, swan dive now. Good hinge of hips, bent knees. Inhale, rise up halfway, monkey pose. Exhale, bend your knees, hands to your mat. Walk or step both feet back into plank pose. Let's hold for a moment. Now you can always go through that sequence of moving right into down dog right away if you'd like, or breathe in right here and exhale, finish your push-up, come down, Chaturanga Dandasana. You can move into an upward facing dog or a low cobra as you inhale, then exhale, downward facing dog. And once again, once you arrive in your posture, just adjust the hands and feet, and then we'll continue. Inhale, extend your right leg up behind you, reach long.
Exhale, let's bring right foot to the top of the mat. And we'll turn left heel to the floor. Find that balance, that same even distribution of weight across both feet, just like you did standing in mountain pose. Then we'll inhale to rise up, reach into the air, this nice lunge. Exhale, fold, just bring the hands back down to the ground. We'll step back into plank pose, finishing our push-up, chaturanga, or of course that shortcut right away to down dog, your up dog or cobra pose for your back bend, then exhale, downward facing. Step into place, hold for a moment, and then when you're ready, other side. Inhale, extend left leg into the air, and we'll exhale, bring left foot now up to the top of the mat. Right heel turns to the floor. Put weight in that back foot so there's balance. Inhale, rise up, reach up high, big stretch. And we'll exhale, we'll carefully fold. Let's bring the hands back down to the ground. Step back, plank pose, and complete your series. Following through, there's up dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Let's hold here. All right, we're gonna go down to the ground, so you can hop forward, cross your legs, and take a seat, or just kneel down, take a seat in the center of your mat. We're gonna lie down and prepare for bridge pose. You're gonna lie down with your knees bent and feet just planted into the ground. Be sure there's a straight line here like this, if you can see me. My knee directly over the ankle bone, so it's a straight line right here of calf and shin. That's gonna give you good leverage when you eventually lift up into the air. So when you're ready to move, go ahead and breathe in fully, fill up your lungs. Exhale, empty. Feel the core muscles engage, and use that energy now to lift your hips up into the air, just like this. So we're in a back bend, but we still are going to be focusing a bit on our shoulders and our legs. So this, of course, really energizes the thighs. This also energizes the hamstrings and your glutes, especially if you're lifting higher, pressing feet into the ground, lifting, there's that muscle engagement. Now for the upper body and the shoulders, if your shoulders are just kind of flat like this, you want to see if you can get them underneath you. So you might rock your body left and right a little bit, getting your shoulders underneath you so you can squeeze your shoulder blades together if you can. And that's going to maybe allow you to open up through the chest a bit more. You might want to even bend your arms like this at 90 degrees and press the backs of your arms down into the ground, maybe helping you to lift a little higher or just to help stabilize the body. 2 more breaths. And then just going to wiggle the toes forward a little bit. Extend your arms up into the air. That'll get the shoulders out from underneath you. Then roll your way down. Once you've made contact to the ground, go ahead and draw knees to chest. Start to rock forward and back. And a good exhale to rock your way up, coming to seated, so we can come to boat pose. So you want to make sure you have a nicely extended spine. Lean back, maintaining that good length. As you lean back, you can float the feet up into the air like that. I like to flex the feet. It just keeps the legs energized, so you can hold them in place. But you can always hold on to your legs with your hands or release and just reach out with your hands. I'm going to hold on for this one. Breathing in to feel that lifting of the torso. We want to exhale to engage. We're engaging those core muscles, that same abdominal lock feeling, pulling belly button in towards spine. Okay, we're in a flow here. We're going to breathe in. Exhale, cross legs. If you can, roll forward onto your hands. Walk, step, or hop back into plank pose. Hold for length and strength. And we'll take that same shortcut here to downward facing dog. Just bend the knees a little. Send your hips up into the air. Let's continue with our lunges now. Inhale, extend your right leg up behind you, reach. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat. Left heel turns to the ground. Balance. Inhale, rise up, warrior 1. And our exhale to warrior 2. Let's hold here for just a moment and feel free to maybe take the feet a little wider. I like to do that just so I can lunge a little deeper. Again, getting into the legs, inner thighs. So you want a nice straight left leg. the outside edge of your left foot really pressing strongly into the ground, because that'll fire up the outer portion of the leg for greater stability. And from the front knee, we want to make sure it's pointing directly forward. Just as your toes are pointing forward, be sure your knee is pointing forward. Let me just turn towards you for a moment. Just want to be sure your knee isn't dipped to the inside like this. You want to keep it nicely aligned, something like that. Okay, so that's our warrior two. Now side angle, reach out, angled upper body, rotate the arm so your right arm is down, left hand reaching up. This is where a block could come in handy if you are low enough. Maybe this right hand can come down and just stabilize on a block if you want to. We're not going to be here too much longer. We're actually going to bring this left hand down behind you to low back or to your left hip. A little circle, a couple times with this shoulder, and draw it back. Remember, we're working with shoulders tonight, and so we want to make sure that we're getting some mobility there. So we're just drawing the shoulder back. We're going to inhale, re-extend this left arm up into the air. Turn, let's bring hands down to the ground. We're stepping back into plank pose, hold, and that same shortcut to downward facing dog. Then inhale to extend left leg up into the air. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel turns to the floor, find your balance. Inhale, rising up, warrior one. And an exhale to warrior two. Same thing, make your adjustments, a little wider in the stance if you'd like. Let's pay attention to the right foot, so the outside edge of that right foot is really kind of rolling down into the ground, so you feel that energy in the outer portion of the right leg. Left knee pointing forward. Be sure it's not dipping to the inside of the foot, but mainly pointing forward with the toes. Now our side angle, we're reaching out, angled upper body, rotate the arms. I like to stay up high in this posture. This just feels right for me, but you're always welcome to go a little lower. Maybe the hand or fingertips can touch the ground, or use those stack of blocks. Let's breathe in. And we'll exhale, we'll turn so we can bring the hands back down to the ground. Step back, plank pose. And the same shortcut to downward facing dog. Let's just bring the knees to the ground here. Sit back briefly in hero pose, right here. Again, kind of getting into the legs a little bit. This kind of stretches kind of in that knee area and the ankle area. Let's just do a couple of shoulder rolls here too. We're not going to be here too much longer. Just a little bit more mobility in the shoulders. And then let's just come out to hands and knees like so. So we want the knees to be underneath the hips and your wrists underneath your shoulders. We're going to inhale, lift head and look forward to arch the back for cow pose. Little back bend feel, then exhale, round it out. Chin to chest, pull belly button up towards spine. So it's a nice undulation of the spine as we move through these two postures. So inhale to look forward, that's our cow pose. Exhale into cat pose. In cow, we feel the chest open as we look forward. We get that arch in the back, the belly drops, pelvis tips back, and then tuck it all underneath for cat. Let's do two more like that. And then just return to a neutral position. We're going to sit back briefly in child's pose. So you might want to take the knees a little wider so they're moving outside the hips a little bit, and then sit back. Let's make this kind of an active posture. You're going to really reach forward, so the hands reaching forward towards the front corners or edges or front edge of your mat. Reach. So you feel this kind of an extension quality through the shoulders, down through the sides of your body. You might even feel this in the chest a little bit. So your hips are reaching back towards your heels or the back edge of your mat, while your hands, fingers are reaching forward. Neck is neutral. Two more breaths. So just kind of this active child's pose, just for a little bit more of a stretch and lengthening effect. And keep the hands where they are, but then rise back up onto the knees, tuck your toes, and then move into downward facing dog. Let's flow once again. We'll inhale, take right leg up. But this time we're going to press left heel towards the ground. So right leg is extended up into the air, straight as can be. And we're just kind of straightening the left leg as the left heel presses towards the ground. It doesn't have to touch the ground, but just feel that calf stretch. Inhale, reach longer through the right leg in the air. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat, left heel to the ground behind you. Let's rise up. Warrior 1, exhale, Warrior 2, and then right away after a quick adjustment into side angle. Let's rotate the arms here, reaching up, reaching down. This time we're going to take this left hand overhead like this. Keep it straight, but just reach. Just energy through the fingers. Your palm is facing towards the ground, but just reach at this angle. So you can see how there's this really nice straight line moving from my left set of fingers all the way down to the left side of my body to the outside portion of my left foot. Let's breathe in right here. Exhale, we're going to turn, bring hands to the floor, and just step right back into down dog. Slide the right foot back, both feet on the ground, hips in the air like that. Let's inhale, take left leg into the sky, hold it as we breathe. Right heel presses towards the earth to get that calf stretch. So we want all these nice straight lines in the body. Hands are pressing firmly into the ground, strong arms. Opens the shoulders and chest, left leg reaching, right heel pressing downward. Inhale. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel turns to the ground. Let's rise up. Exhale, open, Warrior 2, quick adjustment, side angle pose. Reaching up and down. Now the first time we were here, I forgot to guide us into this variation. We brought the right hand down to low back, so let's do that now. So to low back or to right hip, and see if you can just circle the shoulder a few times just to get a little bit more mobility. You'll feel this in the shoulder, you might even feel this in your back a little bit, and then hold it back, just for a couple breaths. And then we'll get into that second arm version. So whenever you're ready, we'll re-extend this right arm up into the air and reach overhead, same direction as your left knee and toes. Palm is facing the ground, and reach. That's just a natural rotation for the shoulder. Reach, extend, so you have that straight line down through the right side of your body. Let's breathe in, and we'll exhale, we'll turn, bring both hands back down to the ground. Step back right away, downward facing dog, hips in the air, feet on the ground. Okay, we're going back to bridge pose. We're gonna hop forward, cross legs, take a seat. We're just kneel down, find a seat in the center of your mat. Go ahead and roll down onto your back. Bent knees, feet flat on the ground. Pause for a moment if you need to. You can always take a break. Whenever you're ready, you're going to breathe in, fill up your lungs. Exhale, empty the belly, engaging the core body so you can peel away from the ground, lifting hips up into the air. Let's do the same thing with the shoulders. See if we can get the shoulders a bit underneath. Rooting down into the ground with the feet and the backs of the arms. We're going to add on to this. We're actually going to rise up onto tiptoes. Just lift your heels and then step your feet in a little closer toward your body. That way we keep that straight line in the shins from knee down to ankle as you've lifted up onto the tiptoes. So heels lifting. So this is going to engage the calf muscles. So we got the calves, hamstrings, thighs, glutes, even your pelvis and the hip flexors. All that very well activated. Upper body, chest expanding and opening, backs of the arms rooted into the earth, and that squeezing of the shoulder blades together behind you or underneath you. All right, let's step forward so the feet are flat on the ground. Extend the arms up into the air. Let's roll down. Let's extend the body. If you've got room, reach forward with the legs, straight legs, and then reach behind you with your arms and lengthen and stretch. And then we'll hug both knees into chest. Start your rock forward and back. And then rise up to seated so we can come to boat pose. You can hold on for the duration. You can always free up the legs and hands if you'd like. But deep breathing. Inhale, really feel the lifting of the spine, breath rising to fill up the lungs. Lifting of your body here too. You want to feel light. exhale to engage, and that really helps you to feel strong and stable in your pose. Okay, we're gonna flow. Breathe in. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front. Hopper step back, plank pose. We'll finish the flow coming down this time, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Hold for a moment. We'll take a breath in. Exhale, walk, step or hop, both feet up to the top of the mat. Inhale, extend spine. Exhale, fold. Let's inhale, reverse the swan dive. Come all the way up, reach into the air. Now on the exhale, you're gonna bring your arms down behind you like this and just reach back. So it looks like this. Just reaching back behind you like you're reaching for something behind you. And that's gonna bring the shoulders back, yes? And then squeeze to center as if you were holding on to, let's say, a box behind you. So the arms will feel active. You'll feel this in the triceps. Shoulders are rolled back. Stay like that if you like, or if you're able, interlace your fingers like so. It's okay if the elbows need to stay bent, but if you're able, reach towards the ground or your heels with the knuckles. To engage a little bit more, roll the shoulders back, squeezing shoulder blades together. So you kind of be in this situation like this. If you'd like, you can bend the knees. We're going to hinge forward a little bit like this. So a chair-like pose. If your hands or arms are just resting on your back body, that's fine if that feels best for your shoulders. But if you can, start to lift away from your back, reaching your knuckles or your fingertips towards the back edge of your mat or towards the wall behind you. Just keep your neck neutral. Whatever angle your body is, make sure your neck is in the same alignment. So you can feel this pretty strong engagement. If you'd like to stay just like this, or sit down a little deeper and start to tip over. Your head is going down, hips are going up, but also those folded fingers. If the neck stays long, you're gonna have a lot more room perhaps in the shoulders, if they're flexible enough, to start reaching up towards the ceiling or even towards the wall in front of you. That's pretty deep, so you don't have to go that far. Your hands may still be down near your back, and that's fine for this. Okay, stay in the forward fold, but bring your hands down to your low back. If fingers are folded, release, and let your arms drop down to the ground. Let it go loose. Go to that ragdoll feel. That's a lot of tension. Let's release that tension. Circle your shoulders, shake them out. A little shake of the head and neck. All right, monkey pose. Inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, fold. Bring the hands out in front of you. Walk or step back into plank pose. Come on down if you like. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Let's inhale, extend right leg up behind you. As the right leg lifts, feel the left heel press down towards the ground. Good extension through the entire body. We'll exhale to bring right foot to the top of the mat. Let's go to high lunge this time, which means the left heel stays lifted behind you. Shift your weight back a bit so you're still centered and balanced, but the heel behind you is lifted, and then rise up. That's our high lunge. That does take some balance. Reaching up into the air. That's going to get into the legs a little bit here too. To stabilize, because it's a little wobbly, it's a little wobbly for me today. Squeeze your inner thighs towards each other to engage the legs a little bit more, to help stabilize. Even bring some more energy to the arms as they reach up and even squeeze to center. We're going to inhale, lift a little, pivot, open, warrior two. We're going to set this up for triangle. So we're going to straighten the right leg, straight as can be, and then reach out over that right leg and then rotate the arms. That's going to get us into our hamstrings. Let's hold here for several breaths. This also works the hip and pelvis. So you want to feel like this left hip is actually moving towards the wall, that direction.
Good, just 2 more breaths. We want to hold this for a little bit so we can get these nice extensions, especially through that right hamstring. All right, now we're going to just lift a little bit out of that deep side bend. Lift a little bit so you have some mobility in your torso so you can turn your torso so you're facing this front leg. Take the arms behind you, reaching, and then fold until you're maybe parallel to the ground or close to it. So you have a straight leg in front, upper body, parallel perhaps to the ground, hands reaching back. A little bit more of a hamstring stretch. Let's bend this right knee for a lunge. Let's swing the arms forward and rise up. You'll be in Warrior One. And then fold, bring the hands down to the ground. We'll step back into plank pose. Finishing the flow. Chaturanga, up dog, downward facing dog. When you're ready, inhale, extend left leg into the air while the right heel presses towards the earth. Strong straight lines in the body. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat. High lunge. So shifting the weight back so we're balanced enough to get the hands off the ground, rising up into the air. Again, it's a balancing lunge position, so to feel a bit more stable, lunge a little deeper. Feel that back heel press back or downward, and then squeeze inner thighs towards each other. This should bring some stabilization to the legs. Reach up high, even squeeze to center. We'll inhale here, and exhale, we'll open this to Warrior Two. We're going to set this up for triangle. Straighten the left leg, reach out over that left leg, and then rotate the arms. Modify this as you need to. Again, I like to stay up pretty high in this pose. My left hand is right up here by my knee. You certainly are welcome to go lower. Several breaths here so we can get these nice extensions with some attention to the left hamstring. If you're tipped over pretty far, we're going to lift out of that a little bit so you can turn your torso towards the front leg. Start to hinge forward out past or over that left leg as the hands reach back. So we get into another hamstring stretch. And we'll bend this left knee for a lunge. Swing the arms forward and up. You'll be in Warrior One. And then fold again, hands down to the ground. Step back, plank pose, complete the series. You can always take that shortcut. Meeting in downward facing dog. All right, bring the knees to the ground. Now, if you've got some blocks, you're going to place them on the left side of your mat. Okay, off the mat on the floor and right at center. I've got 2 blocks right here if you can see them. So I'm going to have those there, ready for this next little series, okay? So let's return to downward facing dog. So you're going to inhale, extend right leg up behind you, and left heel still pressing towards the earth. So let's just maintain those good extensions through the legs. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat. Let's go back to that high lunge. See how my body weight went way forward. Not a lot of weight in this back foot. I need to put weight and pressure back behind there so the hands are light so I can rise up with ease. Hold for a moment. Okay, we're going to rise up and open to Warrior Two. Let's straighten the right leg here, but then turn the right foot in the same direction as the left foot. Now you might need to make some adjustments because my feet aren't really aligned. So you want to stand so that you're more aligned, okay, and balanced. So your torso sits right in the center of the extended legs out to the side. And your arms are out like this. I call this a star shape. So we're going to inhale, reach out. Then as you exhale, pull belly in, bend your knees, and then fold. And just bring your hands down either to the floor or your stacked blocks. So you may not need the blocks.
And then once you're all the way down, we're going to inhale, extend the spine, feel like you're coming forward, and then exhale, fold again. Make sure your knees are soft, and we'll hold here. So the hands can come down to the blocks if maybe you're not down very low, so the blocks work really nicely here. Or maybe this is pretty easy for you and you can easily bring the hands down to the ground, especially if you decide that you want to take the feet a little wider, which is what I'm going to do. So we're just going to kind of relax in this wide-legged forward fold. I love this version of a forward fold because one, you can fold a little easier, a little deeper, just because of the shape and positioning of the pelvis with the legs. But it also energizes both the outside and the inside of the legs. 3 more breaths here in this wide-legged forward fold. We're going to stay low, but just walk your hands over towards your right foot. Turn your right foot so it's facing forward. So we're like this. Rise to warrior 1. Reach up into the air like that. Exhale, fold, bring the hands down. And we'll step right away to down dog. So step back, hips in the air, down dog. Now if you'd like, you can bring the knees down. If you did use the blocks, maybe you just want to set them on the other side. Okay? And once you're ready for the other side, we'll inhale, actually return to down dog. Then you'll inhale, extend left leg into the air, right heel presses into the earth. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat. Let's return to our high lunge. Shift your weight back so there's that balance. So you can get the hands up into the air. Hold for a moment. Remember those stabilizing segments of squeezing the inner thighs towards each other. Right heel pushing back. Belly pulls in, arms reaching high. We'll inhale, lift a little so you can pivot and open so you're in warrior 2. You're going to straighten the left leg. Turn the left toes forward. Just make some adjustments so you're balanced, aligned, star shape here. We'll breathe in. Exhale, pull belly in, bend the knees. That's just for safety for the back as you now fold. Bringing your hands down to your blocks on this side or the ground. Once you've finished the exhale, inhale, rise up just halfway. Extend the spine, feel like you're coming forward. Then exhale, back down we go. And just hold here. So this is really just a second time being in the same posture. Feel free to take the feet a little wider. Be sure the whole foot's on the ground. That means being sure there's some extra pressure moving towards the outside edges of the feet, because I think there's more of an inclination for this to roll in to the inside edge of the foot. So we want to make sure that there's a good stabilization there. Couple more breaths in our nice deep forward fold. Knees stay soft. And then we'll rise up a little bit, but then walk your hands over to your left foot. Turn those toes forward. So we're in this lunge here, and then you can rise up into warrior 1. Exhale, fold. Let's bring the hands down, and we'll step right back into downward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale, jump, step, or walk both feet back up to the top of your mat. Inhale, extend your spine. Exhale, fold. Reverse your swan dive. Inhale, come all the way up. Reach into the air. Same thing. Let's exhale, bring the hands down behind you. Either reach back or interlace fingers. Make sure you've rolled the shoulders back and can squeeze shoulder blades together. A little bend of the knees. And we're going to hinge a little bit at a chair-like pose, lifting the fingers or hands a little bit away from your back body. Remember, you can stay just like this or go a little deeper, a deeper seat. Tip, head down, hips up, maybe folded fingers up in the air. Make sure the neck is long. So if you're looking down and you can see between the knees, that means you've tipped the head down. And that's going to give you less mobility in your shoulders and upper back. So if you can neutralize or elongate through the neck so it's neutral with the rest of the spine, those hands and arms will go farther overhead. Now bring the hands back down to low back. Release the fingers, drop to the ragdoll. Shake it out, make it loose. Inhale, monkey pose. Long spine lifting halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat out in front of you and hop or step back into plank pose. Come on down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to go through a wide-legged forward fold sequence here. Let's start with an inhale to extend right leg up. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat. High lunge, so left heel stays lifted. Rising up as we did earlier. Open warrior two. Straighten the right leg. Turned right foot forward. Get into that star shape. Adjust the feet so they're aligned. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, pull belly in. Bend the knees and fold. So fingertips come down to the ground or your blocks. Inhale, re-extend spine. Exhale, fold. Now we're going to hold here for several breaths because we're going to move into another posture from here. 2 more breaths down here. Then we're going to inhale, rise back up to fingertips to help extend spine. Hold here. Make sure the weight is shifted back into the heels. Bend your knees a bit more. Feel like you're going to sit down. It's going to feel like you're in a huddle at a football game. Extend your arms out to the side. Reach. Rise back up to that star shape right here. We're going to inhale, reach out more. Now on this exhale, bring your hands to your hips. Hold here. Roll the shoulders back, squeeze shoulder blades together. Even feel like your elbows are kind of pointing to the wall behind you. And your hands feel like you're pushing your pelvis downward, so keeping that active. Shoulders back, elbows back, pelvis pushing down. We're going to inhale, look up, feel like you're lifting your chest up. Exhale, pull belly in, bend the knees, and fold. So it's the exact same posture, but just keeping the hands on the hips now. And once you're low enough, you can use your hands on your hips and feel like you're pushing your hips back towards the wall behind you and really extend your spine. So if you've rounded out, that's actually fine, but see if you can actually straighten the spine. Couple more breaths here. We'll take a nice strong inhale, re-extend spine, lift yourself all the way back up until you're nice and tall here, and then re-extend the arms into the star shape. Let's turn right foot forward here. Let's go to triangle pose. Get into a little bit of a side stretch along with the hamstring stretch. Nice extension there. And then a little bit of a lift to turn your torso towards this front leg. Sweep the arms back. Keep them parallel. See if we can come to a straight line. Right there. Then bend the right knee. Nice lunge. Swing the arms forward and up. So we can get this good mobility in the arms whenever we reach the arms up into the air. Warrior one. Exhale. Let's bring the hands down to the ground. Step back. Plank pose. Finish your flow. And we'll finish together in downward facing dog. Good. Let's do the same thing other side. Inhale, extend left leg into the air. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat. High lunge. Open warrior two. Good, let's extend the left leg, turn those toes forward, align the body, star shape. Now the arms are going to be a little different. You're going to inhale, reach out. This exhale, bring the hands down behind you, interlace your fingers if you're able, or just reach back with the hands like we did earlier. Roll the shoulders back, squeeze shoulder blades together, nice opening up through the chest. Keep the knees soft. We're going to inhale, look up. Exhale, pull belly in, soft knees, and fold. So this is the third version of our wide-legged forward fold. Remember, if you're looking between the legs, if you can see the wall behind you, that's going to round your back. If you lift your head a little bit, that will help the extension of the spine, especially in the cervical spine and thoracic, so that you can take the arms a little bit more overhead if you're able. Full inhale, rise all the way back up, nice and tall like this. Let's release the fingers and take them out to the side. Return to your star shape. Good, you're going to inhale, reach out. Exhale, bring hands to hips. Once again, we've got a fourth version. Same thing, roll the shoulders back, elbows point back, and feel like you're pushing your pelvis down. Now, this isn't going to be permanent. This is going to change in a moment. We're going to inhale, look up, feel the chest rise up. Exhale, pull belly in, bend the knees, and start to fold very slowly. Look at me, if you can. And then release the hips, re-extend the arms out to the side as you're still folding. Make peace fingers with the hands. As you fold, lift your big toes, because you're going to hook your big toes with the middle and index fingers, if you can. Once you've got them, you're going to inhale, re-extend spine, then exhale, fold. Now, if you can't reach your toes, that's okay. Maybe just reach behind you. Maybe hold on to your calves with the hands. So there's four versions of this wide-legged forward fold. And so this is the fourth version. Actually, it's A, B, C, and D. So this is the D version. Let's go ahead and just release the toes. Just bring the hands onto the floor underneath the face. Let's inhale, rise up just halfway. Just use your hands to help press to lift you up halfway. Hold here. Lean back into the heels, bend your knees like you're going to sit down, like you're in a huddle. Extend your arms out to the side. Inhale, rise up nice and strongly there, back to our star shape. We're turning the left foot forward. Extend the leg. Let's go to our triangle pose, reaching out over that left leg, and then rotate. We'll hold here for several breaths. Good, rising a little bit so you can turn your torso towards this extended leg. Fold halfway, arms reaching behind you. And we'll bend this left knee. Let's swing the arms forward. There's that mobility in the shoulders again, rising up. So that's our shoulder and leg work. And we'll fold, bring the hands down to the ground. We'll step back into plank pose, complete your series. Up dog and downward facing dog. Let's hold here for a moment. Let's shift the body out to plank pose. Let's hold here for several breaths. Just a little more strength effort in the arms, upper body, and our shoulders. And this will really kind of complete kind of the arm workout or the shoulder workout. So we did a lot of legs. We actually did a lot of shoulders, really for mobility. Just that constant taking the arms up in like extended mountain or warrior one, or reaching out for warrior two or triangle pose. All great postures. All right, let's soften. Let's bring the knees down to the ground and sit back. That's good. And then maybe, since we're just on our hands, let's go ahead and just circle the wrists here. You can even press the tops of the hands together. A little swing of the hands or fingers like that, just to help loosen up the wrist area. Since we're doing that forced flex, we're just getting a counter pose with that. And then you can just relax the shoulder, relax the arms, and just circle the shoulders a little bit. All right, go ahead and make your way down to the earth. We'll take a seat in the center of the mat and go ahead and lie down onto your back. We'll go ahead and bring knees to chest. If it feels good, some circles here. Just a little release for the low back and maybe your hips. Let's do one more leg extension. We'll treat this as an inverted pose. And so a very nice modification of a shoulder stand is just extend the leg straight up into the air. Now you're welcome to do a full shoulder stand if you'd like instead, or just go ahead and extend the legs up into the air. You can even just hold on to the legs so they stay up. Energize the feet, either point your toes or push through the heels or even pushing through the balls of the feet. And so just hold that for a little bit longer, a few more breaths, just for some energy in the legs. And we're going to get into some mobility in the legs here too. So after a moment, we'll bend the knees and then maybe a little bicycle pedaling, something like this. And then the feet can loosen up a little bit, so maybe a little circling of the ankles, get them moving. And then from here, feel free to move into a hip opener, maybe like happy baby pose or reclining cobbler's pose. Any variation that you like to do, maybe you have a favorite or one that would just feel good at this moment. I'm going to do child's pose, or I'm sorry, happy baby pose with a little motion here. And I'm going to convert this into the more traditional version of reclining cobbler's pose, where the soles of the feet come together and you hold onto the feet or ankles, pushing the heels down towards the pelvis, while the knees and legs kind of push forward. It's a nice hip opener. You can also do this in a more relaxed fashion by bringing the feet down to the ground with the soles of the feet touching. A couple more breaths here. And whenever you feel complete with your hip openers, there's certainly no rush. Next posture is a twist. You can bring the knees together towards your chest and then take the knees down to the left side perhaps and extend your right arm off to the right side. Some nice deep breaths there. Also a good time just to notice the quality of your breath. Now, it wasn't a very fast-moving practice, and so maybe you weren't out of breath, but maybe there was a slight change in the quality of your breathing. But now that we're getting more to these relaxed postures, maybe it's easier for you to breathe slowly and deeply. After you finish one side, let's come back up to center. Hold there for a moment, just briefly, and then take the other side for your twist. And again, still being very aware of your breathing. Maybe 2 more breaths on this side. And when you feel complete, just come back up to center. One more hug. And then take Shavasana or any other relaxing or restorative position. Shavasana, of course, is just extending your legs out front, arms down by your side, maybe your palms facing up, but it's also fine to have them facing down if that feels better for your arms and shoulders. If you need some padding underneath you, maybe a blanket for your body or your head, use a blanket. Or if you like to elevate your legs or feet, using a pillow or stacked blocks, or even just if you had a chair, you can even bring your feet up onto the seat of a chair. So whatever feels good for you at this moment. Finding stillness, settling into the ground. Slow, deep breaths.
If your mind begins to wander, just take note of that, just be aware of it, and just take another deep breath to bring you back to this moment. Still lying in stillness. Once again, become aware of your breath. And as you return to this awareness, take 5 slow, deep breaths. And as you're breathing in and out, feeling movement return to your body. And after your 5th breath, moving in slow motion, start to roll onto either side of your body. Just moving into a nurturing pose. It'll resemble a fetal position. And then still moving in slow motion, just go ahead and guide your way up to a seated posture. Take your time. You might still have your eyes closed or just softly opened. Once you've found your seat, you might cross your legs. You can even extend the legs or just extend one leg if that feels comfortable. Find a nice extension through your spine, sitting up nice and tall and proud. And your arms might just be relaxed down by your side. Your hands could be in your lap or on your knees. Your hands can stay right there, or you might even bring your hands to heart center. Go ahead and take 2 more deep breaths in and out. Really breathe into your heart space. And as we come to the close of this portion of our journey together, we bow saying, Namaste.